Continuing on, after talking about heightened security, we're going to talk about the goals of the school transportation system. So the first and foremost goal of a school transportation system would be moving students to and from school in a quality, equitable, and efficient manner. Making sure that our students who are way out there can get into school, making sure students who need different types of services as far as getting to school. So a wheelchair lift or a smaller, quieter atmosphere also have the opportunity to get that transportation to school. The second goal would be that we need to have good planning and scheduling routes for our students in the areas they live that we serve. So making sure that we are using the best amount of time and space possible to pick up and transport those students. That's also a very great way to be cost efficient and effective, making sure that we're utilizing the gas money on the van and on the buses as much as possible. So if we have students who live in an area, creating a route that the bus not only can get around, but our students can also get to a bus stop that is not too far of a walk for them to get to. Then we also have to look at maintaining proper equipment. So this goes back to our maintenance and facilities. Again, avoiding that breakdown type of thought, making sure that our buses are being inspected and they're being kept really clean. A great way to do this is to, again, involve the students in this method. So what schools have done in the past is they have their PBIS, positive behavior intervention systems, and they invite the bus drivers in and let the students get on the bus and practice being on the bus and talking about good practices on that bus, making sure to report things, making sure bullying gets cut down, making sure that students aren't tearing apart the buses and treating them with respect. That also leads into providing training for drivers interacting with our students. Many times our bus drivers might not know the history that our students have, like we do know of. So if we can create that great relationship between the bus driver and the students, that's going to change the entire world for our students. Some of our students the students who ride the bus anyway, the bus driver is the first person they see every single morning that dictates how their day could possibly go. If they have a bus driver who is happy to see them, who is excited to greet them, that's just as important as having teachers and school administration outside of the school at the very beginning of the day. That first greeting, hey, nice to see you, glad you're here, is so important. And the bus driver is the last person associated with the school that the students see every single day. So making sure that their day ends on a positive note is going to be very, very important. Other things that I didn't really include on the bullet points, but we kind of have a contracted service with our bus equipment right now in our buses. So maybe looking in the future, it might be something that the Board of Education is interested in, a contract versus system-owned equipment. That would mean a planning and analysis to determine what the best options are, if we should continue with our contract, or if there are ways to save money by not being in our contract. So looking at ways to pros and cons with that. Right now, I know that we're overall very happy with our school bus system, and on the financial end of that, that also is very good for us. We do end up saving some money. It might just be a goal or something that our school board might want to look at for the future, and I'm more than happy to help with the cost analysis of that. Moving on. Out of facilities into the risk section. So you asked the question, why is risk management important? The possibilities of potential risks are endless. We never know if there is going to be a risk or a hazard going to happen to either our people or our property or our finances. So being able to be prepared is really, really great. So 3 categories to avoid some potential lawsuits in our risk management. We want to make sure we have adequate supervision and instruction for our students. So this can protect us as far as medical insurance, as far as property damage, making sure that the students are visible. It's also a very big safety thing. So again, with that heightened security, making sure that we have enough supervision in areas to cover all of the students is going to definitely help lower our risk. That we have safe equipment. So again, roping back to proper facility maintenance, making sure our equipment, that goes from everything from our buses to our desks to our plumbing system, is safe for all students. That's going to cut down on the risk of our property being damaged. And then the third one to avoid any potential lawsuits would be employee professionalism. So making sure that we are educating our staff on how to be professional with our technology, with our interactions with students and other staff members. All of that is going to cut down on our potential risk for people and property and finances as well, so that staff are maintaining professionalism when dealing with the finances in their departments. So what can you do as a school board? I thought that this was going to be a great area to address as far as you, the school board, since you asked this question. So the best thing you can do is establish a policy that includes guidelines, amount of insurance, specification of each and every program. Risk management needs to be considered in every single planning process. That helps our planners and our superintendent in planning and managing risk. So making sure that when we have an initiative that we look through on guidelines, we look at the insurance coverage and where we are covered and what type of insurance coverage we need. And then making sure that we have planned and looked into every facet to avoid risk. And that's just something we need to do to be prepared. So again, kind of that preventative type of measure. Then the last section is going to be challenges. So you have 2 additional questions that you had asked. The first question is, what is the largest personnel challenge we face? In this realm of education where we're at right now, the largest challenge we face is maintaining, motivating, and supporting staff. I kind of lump those all together, even though they are 3 different things. So cost-effective training and support through mentoring programs or on-the-job training. So when we have professional development days, utilizing the knowledge of the staff that we already have and mentoring programs for brand new staff so that we can support them. College training, teacher training can only go so far until you actually get in the classroom. So making sure we have a great mentor program set up with our new teachers and with our veteran teachers to help them along the way with any questions that they may have. So that goes with on-the-job training of any other staff. That goes from our food service to our clerical staff, as well as our custodial staff. On-the-job training, mentoring programs are going to be a helpful way to support people and make them feel not only welcomed, but that they are on the right track and doing the right job. Obviously, we are able to find some funds to provide effective training when the area arises that we would need to pull outside resources. So in our current district, we really lack some diversity, at least from our staff. So that might be a space that we pull from outside resources, whether that's in the community or the state or sometimes even the country, to pull in some additional help and professional training and to help us and help our students. Another thing that we can do, I really loved the idea of a staff renewal instead of staff development through staff involvement in planning and implementing programs and learning. So getting feedback from staff on the professional and staff renewal or development that they need and addressing it with them. That's going to make them feel that they are supported, and that's going to make them motivated to learn. If they find something that, wow, they have a professional professional development on this topic. This is what I want to integrate in my classroom. That's going to motivate them to attend it and to take those professional development days seriously. Also, staff renewal options. So looking at programs that can motivate our staff, that can refresh our staff, something that's not going to overwhelm them, that's going to make them feel alive again and ready to take on the challenges that happen every day in the classroom. Along with that, motivating staff through achieving goals and accurate job and detailed job descriptions. So making sure that our staff knows the job descriptions that they're going to be expected of, so that they aren't maybe bombarded with brand new things that they didn't know was going to go into the job. So making sure to outline those is very important, and motivating teachers and staff members to achieving their goals, and making sure that goals, just like goals that we set for our students, goals that we can maintain and achieve for our staff as well, are very important. A way to do that is by frequently or yearly rewards for all staff. So staff, as far as teaching staff, might be able to go all year for rewards. So whether that's rewarding a first-year teacher for finishing out the year, or whether that's rewarding a teacher who served with our district for 30 plus years, something that recognizes them on their level for the amount of commitment. Staff who maybe need more frequent rewards are those who might not interact with our students every day. So our custodial staff, our clerical staff, our food service staff. So people who might need the extra way to go, well done. And these rewards can be fiscal rewards, they can be non-fiscal rewards. And I am more than happy to sit down with those of you who are interested in leading up some of those ideas and looking at maybe where our businesses in the area can donate money to help kind of motivate and give rewards for staff. We are just like students, where we really like to have that extra little, wow, I did a good job and I achieved my goals and I worked really hard, and here is a way to reward that. And it also goes into getting that staff involvement. They might not need a whole ton. They might just say, hey, I'd really like, the principal to cover my class for this hour, and I'm going to go and sit down and have a coffee in the break room. That might be the only reward that they need. So before we go above and beyond thinking of all these ideas, asking them what they would like to see as a reward for achieving their goals. The last challenge, speaking of our food service staff, our last challenge is, what's the greatest challenge in today's food service? So our food service staff has the goal of providing nutritious foods for students at breakfast and at lunch at a reasonable cost while cutting down on waste. So with a lot of our grant breakfast programs, we are able to provide free breakfast to all students, making sure that those breakfasts and those lunches are meeting to our students' ethnic and preferences, and just the students' taste preferences as well. So something that's nutritious, that our students are going to eat and that they're going to like, and that's going to provide them a lot of nutrition to sustain their brains throughout the day, is a huge challenge for food service. So we really need to support them in making sure that our families who meet the free and reduced lunch meal criteria apply for that program. We're seeing a lot of families who meet that criteria who haven't applied. So we need to figure out a way and to get them that application and complete it, so that we're able to get more federal dollars to support our food service system is going to be very, very critical. Also, it's going to take some long-range planning, accounting, and reporting on our end and the food service end to really plan out those meals for our students, those ethnic options. So for example, I know that there's a school who provides what they call an Asian line every single day, and it's just orange chicken or lemongrass chicken or General Tso's chicken, and that's a way that they provided for their students who are of Asian descent, primarily Hmong or Chinese students, to give them something that works with their ethnic preferences and is also nutritious. And then making sure that we report and account on the amount of food being served, and making sure that we are figuring out ways to kind of cut costs and make that food affordable, or like I said, making sure that the families who meet that criteria are getting that free and reduced lunch option is going to be very, very helpful to help our food service with those challenging tasks of getting our students to eat the food that we give them and not turn their noses up at it. And if you have children of your own, you know that this is a very difficult and daunting task. So I hope that answers any questions that those questions you gave me. Thank you so much for your time. I'll take any questions that you have now